One small word can change your whole life. That word is no. It looks simple. It sounds simple. But most people find it very hard to say. Why? Because we want people to like us. We don't want to feel rude. We don't want to disappoint anyone. So we say yes, again and again, even when we don't want to. We say yes to extra work. We say yes to plans we don't enjoy. We say yes to things that make us tired, stressed, and unhappy. And slowly, our own life starts to disappear, because it gets filled up with other people's wishes, not our own. But today, this is going to change. Today, we are going to learn the power of saying no. We will see why it matters. We will see how it helps you. And we will learn simple ways to say it, even when it feels hard. This lesson is easy to follow, so stay with us until the end. Because saying no in the right way might be one of the most powerful skills you ever learn. Let's begin. Part 1. Why we say yes to everything. Let's start with a simple question. Why is it so hard to say no? The answer is not laziness. The answer is not weakness. The answer is fear. We are afraid of many small things. We are afraid people will get angry. We are afraid people will stop liking us. We are afraid we will look selfish. So instead of saying no, we say yes. And for a moment, we feel safe. We feel good. We think, this person is happy with me now. But this feeling does not last long, because after we say yes, we still have to do the thing we didn't want to do. So we feel busy. We feel tired. We feel stressed. And slowly, we start to feel angry, not at the other person, but at ourselves. This is a very common pattern. Let's look at two coworkers, Mark and Elena. Every time someone asks Mark for help, he says yes, even when he is busy, even when he is tired, even when the task is not really his job. So his day fills up fast. He works late every night. He feels stressed all the time. And still, he never says no, because he is afraid people will think badly of him. Elena is different. When someone asks her for help, she thinks first. She asks herself, do I have time? Is this really my job? Do I actually want to help right now? Sometimes she says yes, but sometimes she says, I'm sorry, I can't help with this today. At first, this felt scary for her too. But over time, she learned something important. People respected her more, not less, when she said no clearly and kindly. So here is the first lesson. Saying yes to everything does not make people like you more. It only makes your own life harder. Here is another way to see this. Think about a small cup of water. If you keep pouring water out of the cup to fill other people's cups, your own cup slowly becomes empty. And an empty cup cannot help anyone, not even yourself. So the next time someone asks you for a favor, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I truly have this to give right now? If the answer is no, that's okay, because an honest no is much better than a tired, unhappy yes. Here is one final thing to notice about Mark and Elena's story. It wasn't that Mark was a bad person or that Elena didn't care about others. Both of them wanted to be helpful and kind. The only difference was this. Elena learned to ask herself a simple question first before answering. And that one small habit changed everything about how her days felt. Part 2. Every yes is also a no. Here is something many people never think about. Every time you say yes to one thing, you are also saying no to something else. This is simple math. You only have one life. You only have 24 hours in a day, so your time is limited. If you say yes to a task you don't care about, you are saying no to your own rest. If you say yes to a meeting you don't need, you are saying no to time with your family. If you say yes to helping everyone else first, you are saying no to your own goals. So really, you are always choosing. The only question is, are you choosing on purpose, or are you just saying yes without thinking? Let's look at an example. Two friends, Sarah and Tom, both dream of starting their own small business. Sarah says yes to almost everything. Every party, every extra shift at work, every small favor for a friend. So there is no time left for her own dream. Months pass, then years, and her business idea is still just an idea. Tom learns to say no. He still helps his friends sometimes, but he protects some hours every week just for his own project. He says no to a few parties. He says no to some extra shifts. And slowly, week by week, his small business starts to grow. Same amount of time, same 24 hours in a day, but one of them said yes to everyone else and no to their own future. The other one learned to say no sometimes so they could say yes to their own dream. So remember this, every yes has a price, and that price is often something you truly wanted. There is a simple trick that can help here. Before you say yes to something new, ask yourself one small question. If I say yes to this, what will I say no to instead? Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's family time. Maybe it's your own goal. This question does not mean you should always say no. It simply means you choose with open eyes, not by accident. Part 3. Saying no protects your energy. Your energy is not endless. It is like the battery in your phone. If you use your phone all day without charging it, the battery becomes weak. Then it becomes empty. Then the phone simply stops working. Your body and your mind work the same way. If you keep giving your energy to everyone and everything without protecting some for yourself, you will feel weak too. You will feel tired all the time. You will feel like you have nothing left to give, even to the people you love the most. Saying no is one of the best ways to protect your energy, because it stops you from giving away time and effort you don't actually have. Let's think about two sisters, Lily and Grace. Lily never says no. When her friends call, she talks for hours, even when she is exhausted. When her coworkers ask for help, she always agrees, even late at night. When her family needs something, she drops everything immediately. So by the end of most days, Lily has nothing left. She feels empty. She feels short-tempered. And sadly, this affects the people closest to her the most, because she has no energy left for them either. Grace learned a different way. She still cares deeply about her friends and family, but she protects some of her time and energy for herself. She says no to a late-night phone call sometimes. She says, "I can't help with that today, but I can help tomorrow." So Grace has more energy for what really matters. She is calmer, she is more patient, and ironically, she gives better help to the people she loves because she is not running on empty. So here is the lesson. Saying no is not selfish. It is simply protecting the energy you need to live your life well. Think about airplane safety rules for a moment. Before every flight, the crew says the same thing. Put on your own oxygen mask first, before helping others. This might sound strange at first. Why help yourself before your own child or your own friend? But the answer is simple. If you don't have enough oxygen yourself, you cannot help anyone else at all. This is exactly how energy works in daily life too. Protect your own energy first, then you will actually have something real to give. Part 4. Saying no builds respect. Many people believe that saying yes always makes people respect you more. But this is not true. Often, it is the opposite. Think about someone who says yes to absolutely everything. At first, this might seem helpful, but over time, people start to expect it. They stop asking politely. They start assuming this person will always agree no matter what. So this person's time stops feeling valuable, even to themselves. Because if you never say no, people learn that your time has no real limit. But when someone says no sometimes, clearly and calmly, something interesting happens. People start to see that this person's time is valuable. They start to think more carefully before asking for a favor. And when this person does say yes, it actually means something. Let's look at two managers, James and Priya. James agrees to every request from his team, every deadline change, every extra project, every last-minute meeting. So his team starts to think, James will always say yes, no matter what we ask. And slowly, they stop respecting his time at all. Priya is different. When a request makes sense, she agrees. But when something is unfair, or when her team is already too busy, she says no clearly. She explains her reason simply, without long apologies. So her team learns something important. They learn that Priya thinks carefully before agreeing to things. And because of this, they trust her more, not less. Her yes actually means something, because it is not automatic. So remember this. A person who says yes to everything is easy to ignore. A person who says no sometimes, with respect and honesty, is much harder to ignore. Part 5. Common fears about saying no. Before we learn simple methods, let's talk about the fears that stop most people. Because once we understand these fears clearly, they start to feel smaller. The first fear is this: people will get angry with me. This can happen sometimes, it's true. But think about it honestly. Most reasonable people, most of the time, understand when someone says no politely. And even if one person reacts badly, that says more about them than it says about you. The second fear is this: people will think I am selfish. But saying no to protect your own time and energy is not selfish. It is simply honest. Real selfishness means only thinking about yourself and never caring about others at all. Saying no sometimes while still caring about people is balance, not selfishness. The third fear is this: I will lose this relationship or this opportunity. Sometimes this fear feels very real. But ask yourself an important question. If a relationship or an opportunity can only survive because you always say yes, is it actually a healthy one? Often, the people and situations worth keeping are exactly the ones that can survive a kind, honest no. The fourth fear is this: I don't know how to say it without sounding rude. This fear is actually the easiest one to fix because it's simply about learning the right words. And that's exactly what we'll cover next. So remember, these fears are normal. Almost everyone feels them. But fear is not a stop sign. It's simply a signal that you are about to do something a little brave. This idea connects to something simple about human nature. People value things that are limited, and they often ignore things that seem unlimited. If your time always seems available, people stop noticing its value. But if your time has clear limits, people start to treat it, and you, with more care. Part 6. How to say no without feeling guilty. Now let's talk about something practical. How do you actually say no without feeling terrible about it? Many people avoid saying no because they think it must be harsh, cold, or unkind. But this is not true at all. You can say no in a way that is both honest and kind at the same time. Here are some simple methods you can use starting today. First, be direct but polite. You don't need a long explanation. A simple sentence works well. I can't do this right now, but thank you for asking. This sentence is short, clear, and respectful. Second, offer an alternative if you truly want to help a little. For example, I can't help today, but I could help tomorrow. Or, I can't do the whole task, but I can help with one part. This shows you care without saying yes to everything. Third, give yourself time before answering. You don't have to say yes immediately just because someone is waiting. You can simply say, "Let me think about it, and I'll let you know." This small pause gives you space to make a real decision instead of an automatic yes. Fourth, remember that no is a complete sentence. You don't always need a big reason. You are allowed to say no simply because you don't want to, or because you are tired, or because you need rest. You don't owe everyone a full explanation. Let's look at one final example. Two students, Wei and Daniela, are both asked by a classmate to help with a project the night before a big exam. Wei feels too guilty to say no. He agrees, even though he needs to study. So he stays up late helping, and the next day, his exam grade suffers. Daniela feels the same pressure to say yes, but she pauses and says, "I really want to help, but I need to study tonight for my exam. Can we talk about this tomorrow instead?" Her classmate is a little disappointed, but understands. And Daniela passes her exam with confidence because she protected her own time when it mattered most. Let's look at one more short example, because this pattern repeats everywhere in life. A young employee named Farah is asked by her manager to take on a big new project, even though her schedule is already full. Farah feels nervous. She doesn't want to seem lazy or difficult, but instead of saying yes automatically, she pauses. She says, "I want to do a good job on this. Right now, my schedule is full. Can we look at what I can move, or can this project start next week instead?" Her manager appreciates her honesty. Together, they find a better solution. And because Farah didn't just say yes out of fear, the project actually goes well, instead of becoming one more rushed, stressful task on her already full plate. This shows something important. Saying no, or even just pausing before saying yes, often leads to better results for everyone, not just for you. Here's one more small tip that helps in almost any conversation. If someone asks you for something and you're not sure how to answer right away, you can simply say, "Let me check and get back to you." This buys you time to think clearly instead of answering out of pressure or fear. So practice these simple phrases. Say them out loud, even alone in your room, until they start to feel natural. Because the words themselves are simple. It's just the courage that takes practice. Here is one more helpful tip. Write down 2 or 3 of these phrases somewhere you can see them, like your phone notes or a small piece of paper. Then, the next time someone asks you for something and you feel that automatic urge to say yes, look at your list first. This small pause and this small reminder can change your answer completely. Part 7. The freedom on the other side of no. Here is something beautiful that happens after you start saying no more often. You begin to feel free. At first, saying no feels scary. Your heart might beat faster. Your voice might shake a little. This is completely normal, and it happens to almost everyone in the beginning. But each time you say no, it becomes a little easier. And slowly, something changes inside you. You start to trust yourself more. You start to believe that your own time, your own energy, and your own needs actually matter. This is not about becoming a cold or unkind person. It is about becoming a balanced person, someone who can still help others, but who also protects their own life at the same time. Let's return to Grace, the sister we talked about earlier. After many months of practicing small, kind no answers, something changed in her life. She had more time for her own hobbies. She had more energy for the people she truly loved. She felt less angry, less tired, and more like herself again. And here is the most surprising part. Her relationships did not get worse. They actually got better. Because now, when she said yes, people knew she truly meant it, and when she spent time with someone, she was fully present, not exhausted and distracted. This is the real power hidden inside one small word. Saying no, in a kind and clear way, does not push people away. It creates space. Space for real rest, real focus, and a real life that actually belongs to you. Part 8. Saying no to yourself too. So far, we talked about saying no to other people, but there is another kind of no that is just as important. Saying no to yourself. What does this mean? It means saying no to your own bad habits. It means saying no to easy distractions. It means saying no to choices that feel good for 5 minutes, but hurt you later. Think about your phone for a second. How many times a day do you pick it up without even thinking? You feel a small urge, and you say yes to it automatically. So an hour disappears, and you didn't even choose it. It just happened. This is where saying no to yourself becomes powerful. When you feel the urge to check your phone, you can pause and say, "Not right now." When you feel the urge to skip your exercise, you can pause and say, "I said I would do this today." When you feel the urge to eat something unhealthy again and again, you can pause and say, "Not this time." Let's look at two friends, Omer and Ben, who both want to read more books this year. Omer never says no to distractions. Every time he sits down to read, his phone buzzes, and he says yes to checking it. So 5 minutes turn into 30, and by the end of the year, he has read only 1 book. Ben practices saying no to himself. When he sits down to read, and his phone buzzes, he says, quietly, "Not now. This time is for reading." At first, this feels hard, but slowly it becomes a habit. By the end of the year, he has read 12 books. Same amount of free time, same busy life. But one of them learned to say no to small distractions, and the other one said yes to every single one. So remember this, saying no to yourself in small daily moments is exactly how big goals get achieved. Not through one huge effort, but through many small no's, said consistently, day after day. This idea applies to almost every goal you can imagine. If you want to save money, you say no to some small purchases again and again. If you want to get healthier, you say no to some easy, unhealthy choices again and again. If you want to learn a new skill, like English, you say no to some minutes of scrolling and yes to a few more minutes of practice instead. None of these small no's feel dramatic in the moment, but added together, over weeks and months, they quietly build the exact life you were hoping for. Let's look back at everything we learned today, one more time, because these ideas connect together closely. Part 1 showed us why saying yes feels easier, even when it hurts us. We say yes because we are afraid, not because it is truly the right choice. Part 2 showed us that every yes is also a hidden no. When we say yes to one thing, we are always saying no to something else, whether we notice it or not. Part 3 showed us that saying no protects our energy, the same way charging a phone protects its battery. Part 4 showed us that saying no, done with respect, actually builds more trust and more respect from others, not less. Part 5 showed us that the fear of saying no is normal, but that fear is not a stop sign. It's simply a signal that we are about to do something brave. Part 6 gave us simple, practical phrases we can use, so saying no feels easier in real, everyday moments. Part 7 showed us the beautiful result waiting on the other side: real freedom, real energy, and a life that finally feels like our own. And Part 8 showed us that saying no is not only for other people, it is also for ourselves in small daily moments, whenever a distraction tries to steal our time and attention. So here is a simple challenge for you today. Think of one thing in your life right now that you keep saying yes to, even though it drains you. It could be a task at work. It could be a habit with a friend. It could be something small, like always answering messages immediately, even late at night. Choose just one of these, and this week, practice saying no to it, kindly and clearly. It will feel uncomfortable the first time. That's completely normal. But remember, every skill feels strange at first and becomes natural with practice. And this one small no might be the first step toward a much bigger change in your life. That is the end of today's lesson on the power of saying no. While you were listening, you learned something important about protecting your time and your energy. And at the same time, your ears were absorbing clear, simple English, short sentences, easy words, and real ideas you can use in your daily life, starting today. Before you go, ask yourself one final question. What is one no you need to say this week? Think about it. Say it quietly to yourself first, so it feels less scary later. And then, when the moment comes, say it out loud, kindly and clearly. One last thought before you go. Saying no will never feel completely comfortable, even after a lot of practice. And that's okay. You don't need it to feel comfortable. You only need it to feel possible. So the next time your heart beats a little faster and your voice shakes a little, remember this: that feeling is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It's simply a sign that you are doing something new, something brave, and something that will slowly give you back your own life. If this video helped you, share it with someone who says yes to everything and needs to hear this today. Leave a comment and tell us, what is something you want to start saying no to? And subscribe, because every day we bring you more simple lessons and more easy English to help you grow step by step. See you in the next video. Protect your time, protect your energy. And remember, saying no sometimes is how you say yes to your own life.